はい。では、続きやっていきましょう。というわけで、ベイプを吸ってるやつを探すってとこからですね。よし。
How is Mademoiselle Locke, Doctor?
Ah.
Vital signs are improving, but she is still unconscious.
I understand. Thank you for looking after her.
ちょっとマインドマップで、なんかいくつか出てた気がするんで、先マインドマップやりますか。ラチェットのデイジの動物のぬいぐるみ。はい。まずこうですね。うん。で、こうか。
My little gray cells do not let.
あ、結構自動聴取する必要がありますね。いますか？
Most of the passengers pass by the bar during the day.
あ、ちょっとケツが痛い。
Right. Maybe I can use this information for my investigation.
右利きの人と左利きの人を見分ける方法は、まあなんか要請した方がいい気がする。
Good job.
うん。
Yes, it could work. He appears to be an observant young man and serves the passengers.
もうなんかもうこの時点でミスターホーシャも容疑者から外れてる感じですね。何か書いてもらう。
Yes, if I ask them to write something trivial, they may do it instinctively with their dominant hand.
まあなんか食べさせたらいいと気がするけどね。これなんかこの辺改装してくれるのかな。なんかミスター・ミシェル思い出したいな。
Yes, I will remember which people use their right or left hand. My little gray cells do not let me down.
もう記憶がないんですけど。
Mademoiselle Debenham, I have a few questions for you.
Of course.
Let's start with your movements last night.
There's little to tell. I went to bed and
こいつ怪しいですよね。
Know the man who was killed?
I saw him for the first time during lunch yesterday.
Did you notice anything about him?
Well, if I believed in auras, I might say he seemed dark.
Would you mind writing your address on this paper for me?
Not at all.
これ右利きだね。
That's it.
てか全然中止とか言いながらもう完全にポアロすべてやってるんですけど、まあいいか。
Do you recall what time Mademoiselle Olsen went to get some aspirin from Madame Hubbard?
I remember glancing at the clock. She left our room just after 10:30 p.m.
Was she away for a long time?
About 5 minutes.
That confirms what Madame Hubbard told me. Do you smoke by any chance?
No, I never have.
あ、なんか怪しいね今。全然違う方向見ながら行ってる。
Do you own a scarlet nightgown?
No, it isn't mine.
Whose then?
I don't know. What do you mean?
You do not say, I have no such thing. You say, it isn't mine. Meaning that you know who it belongs to, am I correct?
Oh, I see. No. I woke up this morning about 5
Hiya.
a.m. with the feeling that the train had been standing still for a long time. I opened the door, and I saw someone in a scarlet kimono some way down the corridor. Her back was turned. It was impossible to see who it
黄色の
was.
着物。
I understand. Thank you for your assistance, mademoiselle.
これなんで黄色の着物なんか聞いてるんだ。そんななんか情報あったかな。
Mademoiselle,
まあちょっと質問していきましょう。
disturb you, but I need to ask you a few questions.
Are you the investigator?
I am.
We are lucky
He
you're
peeing
on
out
the
on it.
train. What do you want to know?
I hear, mademoiselle, that you were the last person to see the murdered man alive.
I do not know. It may be so.
あ、怒られたって言ってましたもん
I
ね、そういえば。
opened the door of his compartment by mistake. I was much ashamed. It was a most awkward mistake.
You actually saw him?
Yeah, he was reading a book.
And what did you do after that, mademoiselle?
I went in to the American lady, Mrs. Hubbard. I asked her for some aspirin, and she gave it to me. I usually carry extra aspirin for the refugees, but I gave mine to a camping turkey. They
なんか俺
needed
慈善
more
活動
than
してるん
me.
ですかね、この人は。人種わかんないですね。あ、看護師。でも看護師で持ってないってなんかすごいな。これわかんない。46かな。結構いってそうな、46いってそうな感じするんですけど。わかんないな。スウェーデンにしときましょうか。あ、合ってた。
That was easy.
これ、この人のこの性格、その特徴を当てるのが一番むずいですね。
Did Mrs. Hubbard ask you whether the communicating door between her compartment and that of Monsieur Ratchet was bolted?
Yes,
And was it?
yes.
And after that, what did you do?
After that, I went back to my compartment, took the aspirin, and laid down. That was around 10:50 p.m.
Is there anyone else in your compartment?
Yeah, a young English lady. Very nice, very amiable.
After the train left Vinkovsky, did she leave the compartment?
No, I am sure she did not.
Why are you so sure if you were asleep?
I sleep very lightly. I am used to waking at a sound. I am sure that if she had come down from the berth above, I should have awakened.
Did you yourself leave the compartment after that?
Not until this morning.
Do you have a scarlet silk
これ何なんだろう？
kimono, mademoiselle?
No, indeed. I have a good, comfortable dressing gown of Jaeger material.
イエーガー。
Do you smoke, mademoiselle?
No, I can't stand the smell of tobacco.
うん。
Perhaps you will be so amiable as to write me down your address.
With pleasure.
まあ右っすね。
Mademoiselle Olsen is indeed right-handed. This was a
まあ
very
左、こ
interesting
の予想だと左利きのやつが多分2、3人いるんじゃないですかね。
I'll be in my compartment. Good luck, Mr. Paul.
矛盾。なんか今、矛盾あった難しいな。これ自分がバカなんですかね。全然気づかないですよね。こういうのがないとわかんないですね。時間とか覚えられない。ミズ・オールソンは、あ、違う違う、
That is not a good answer.
あ、これと、これか。
No, no.
あ、違う違う違う、これミズ・デブナムだ。これと、これか。
This is wrong. But
え
I never
ちょっと待って、
found
むずいな。
the truth.
証拠の矛盾。あ、これと、これか。
Strange, this story. If
ちょっと待
Mademoiselle
って、
Olsen is
ミズ・デブナム
such
っていうのは
a
誰だ？
nice
ミズ・デブナムっていうのはさっきの
girl,
人。
why didn't she tell me about Mademoiselle Debenham getting out of bed? She even made a point to tell me the opposite. My little gray cells did not let me down.
やべ、ちょっと面白いな。まあ、こういう人も右利きだね。あ、右利きですね。なんかこれ、優勢からの物体 X のなんか怪物チェッ
Was
ク
easy.
を出しますね。血液チェックか。オールソン、あいつ部屋に行くって言ってたっけ？あいつ何号室だ？いいか。まあいいか。先に他の人の話を聞くか。あ、いるね。お、これもうこいつもこの人右利きっすね。
I observe her instead.
その、
I observe
これとりあえず頼みましょう。
Monsieur Fauché. May I disturb you for a moment?
Of course, how can I help?
It is, of course, about the murder of Monsieur Ratchet. Can you tell me your movements last night?
I understand. Yesterday evening, I took a break at Vinkovsky station
Hotaru.
with Hotaru. We then went to our quarters in the staff accommodations, a section of the luggage car. Freya was there, reading, and I went to bed right after. Freya is there now, I think, and Hotaru is in the kitchen. They can verify my
Ah.
story.
ホタルって人の名前？
11:30 p.m. or a bit after. The snow is beginning to fall heavily.
I see. Thank you. Can you write your address on this paper, please?
You want to pay me a visit?
Who knows, Monsieur Fauché?
右利きだ。
He is right-handed, there can be no doubt. Are you a smoker?
I'm trying to quit, but yes. I'm now
Ah,
down
こい
to
こいつ
just
タバ
one
コ吸うん
pack
だ。
of cigarettes a week.
ああ、じゃあホタルが全て知っ
Thank
て
you,
そうっす
Monsieur
ね。
Fauché. I'll come back to you if I have more questions.
よし。ここはいいでしょう。あ、払えたらそうだけど。
Ah, Monsieur Maury, would you have a few minutes
Ah.
to give me? I have
こ
some
の人最初に
questions.
アジア人かもしれないですね。これ日本人か。
I can answer questions. The room is spinning. My head is about to explode.
You
で
were
酔ってる。
celebrating last night?
Celebrating. When prayer always rings.
これ日本人か。
What am I saying? If you want my answers to your questions to make sense, help me recover. You see there, the magnet on the fridge. That is my special recipe. I call it my day after survival tonic. If you could
いいですね、
make
なんかこ
me
の
my
片言っぽい
special tonic,
英語が。
I might survive long enough to answer your questions. John knows the recipe very well.
じゃん。
He can help you with the preparation.
Very well, Monsieur Maury. If I must, I must. I will make you your day after survival tonic.
まさかのこいつ日本人。じゃあ入れ墨入れてる日本人いねえだろ。シェフで。うん、まあでも海外にいるならいるのかな。しかも怖すぎるだろ、こんな入れ墨。はい、じゃあ50。あれあ、オッケーオッケー。なかなかいないね。
Cells did not let me down.
間違ったでも日本館は僕は結構好きなんで。じゃあこれで作りますか。レシピめちゃめちゃ拾ってますけど。あれも。なんかもう、ただの盗っ人みたいですけど。すごい。なんでこれ絞るならせるな。
I'm missing half of the tonic ingredients.
あとここは。
I have all
Sure.
the ingredients for Monsieur Maury's tonic. I have to go and see Monsieur Fauché
Ush.
so he can prepare it for me. Monsieur Fauché,
Of course.
Monsieur Fauché, I need your help to prepare a cocktail.
What is this phrase? This is music to my ears. What can I fix for you? A mojito? A gin and tonic? Or perhaps a martini? Shaken, not stirred?
It's not for me, but for Monsieur Maury.
Ah, his day after survival tonic.
Here is everything that was listed on the magnet.
Excellent. I can take it from here. Mr. Poirot, I'm uncertain about the lemon juice. Is it half a lemon or full lemon for the recipe?
半分って言ってなかったかな。
Half a lemon.
I can't remember if Hotaru prefers it with ginger or
生姜
without.
も入ってた気がしま
Do
す
you
ね。
remember?
I can assure you that he will want the ginger.
なんでこういうとこだけなんかちゃんと作ってんだ。
There you are, sir.
Thank you very much.
よし。持ってきましょう。しかしなんかこ この急行の事件を解決するのにすっごい遠回りしながらこう解決に近づいてますね。まあ、ゲームだからって言えばそれまでなんですけど。
Here you go, Mr. Mori.
まあちょっと飲ませますか。
Hope this will help.
完全にお使いですよ、こ
Very
れ。
much. It will be a while, I'm afraid.
Eh?
But I will not move from the kitchen.
Since I have to wait, do you know where I can find Mademoiselle Nielsen?
She's in the staff quarters in the luggage car. If the door is locked, John will have the key.
Thank you. I will return.
ジャンってバーテンダーの
Hope
こ
you
と
have
だ
a。speedy recovery.
てか、何回往復させんだ、俺。あ、移動してる。
Monsieur Mori took the key to open the luggage car door.
That's right. Here it is. Please don't forget to give it back to me.
I will not forget, Monsieur Fauché.
よし。
I have a favor to ask and explain there has been an error with their
Monsieur
allergy.
Poirot, I made no errors.
Of course not.
It is possible, but even if I can see this is part of your investigation, I do not understand it.
I would ask that you observe which hand.
Ah, you wish to know if they use the right or left?
That is my intention.
I will take on this mission for you.
Excellent.
めっちゃいいやつ。話わかる。有能って感じですね、完全に。じゃあ、まあ行きましょうか。ここ初めて来ますね。貨物室。あ、ここか。
That's it. It's open now.
マドモアゼルニールなんとかっていうのは、あ、いた。
A deck of cards. I suspect they were reading diamonds and spades
お、
instead
なんか
of
怪しい。これはもうカードで遊んでましたね、そういえば。
empty rum bottles.
このなんも調べられないかな。来た。
Hello, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I ask you a few questions?
I don't have a minute. My career is ruined, and it's not my fault.
But how did this terrible thing come to pass?
My supplies, passing living space. There is so little room. I gave the cargo handlers how to stack my crates containing the ingredients I need for my desserts. So as one box is used up, it can be discarded.
And these fools of cargo handlers' instructions?
Ignored completely. I have 4 crates that must be moved from there to here to correct the order they are stacked. But placing the wrong crate on top of a smaller crate will crush it, its contents, and my career.
Calm yourself, mademoiselle. I understand. So, the problem is these
またなんか変なの出されんの？
being careful.
Yes. I have to move these 4 boxes from this location to here. But there is not much space to move the boxes, and I have to be careful never to put a bigger box on top of a smaller one, or the smaller crate will be destroyed.
The problem is clear. I shall assist you.
え、どういうこと？あ、こうか。こうで、こうか。OK。
Et voilà.
You are a lifesaver.
Or at least a dessert saver.
Thank you, thank you. I will gladly answer your questions.
今のゲームいる？まあいいか。今、ちょっと、若干このオリエント急行に対してちょっと不満が出ましたね。
Movements of last night.
Last night after dinner, I stayed in the kitchen until 12:15 a.m. Then I joined Jean and Taru in our quarters. Then all of us read quietly in our beds until we fell asleep.
A very studious staff. However, Monsieur Mori doesn't seem to have followed the same literary pursuit as the others. And these rum bottles, do they have something to do with his...
優勝が基地にいました。 あ、静かに本を読む人は違う。
She is lying, but why?
あ、じゃあ合ってる。
I rather think that you didn't just read last night.
What makes you say that?
空き瓶。
The empty rum bottles. Were their labels part of your reading last night?
My fault. I must have left them there before I put them in the bin. And these are straight from the bar. Our passengers must have drunk them.
I have my doubts. But why would she feel the need to lie?
うん。カードデッキ。
That deck of cards. I
Yes, you're right. We played a little last.
knowing about the cards.
ああ、普通に頭痛か。ちょっとなんか深読みしすぎましたね。
Further my investigation. I spoke to Monsieur Murray. He seemed to be quite hungover. He even asked me to. He blurted out, "Freya always wins." Wins what? Looking around, it is clear you were gambling.
You don't understand. It's late when we're off duty, but we need to unwind. And now there's been a murder? But
基本的に
please
いい
don't
こと
tell
言い
Mr.
繕うん
Boone.
です
It's
ね。
against
まあまあ、しゃあないっちゃ
regulations.
しゃあないですけ
We'll
ど。
all be fired.
Mademoiselle, I realize your difficult jobs have been made more difficult. But as you say, there has been a murder. I must have the truth.
Of course. I'm so sorry.
It's not such a crime. I'll leave it there and check in with Monsieur Fauché.
まあ、上から来ますか。
Mind writing your address on this paper? I'm asking everyone on the train for addresses, in case I need to contact them once they leave the train in Paris.
I understand.
右ですね。
Yes, that's it. Mademoiselle Nielsen is right-handed. Do you smoke?
No, I never have.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers, Miss Nielsen.
You're welcome.
まあ、ニールセンは、うん。あ、ヒゲだ。もう一個ありましたね。ハワード夫人は、ハワード夫人は喫煙者ですね。
Well done.
こいつは吸う。
Good job.
これわかんないんだよね。こいつなんつったっけ？
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
あ、じゃあ喫煙者ですね。これ、マックイーンは吸わなかった気がするんだけど、どうだったっけ？
Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried to quit.
ああ、そうこいつも紙巻きか。すげえ忘れてますね。
That was easy.
まあでも、やっぱりマスターマンは分かってないですかね。タバコ吸うけど、どっちのタイプ吸うかっていうのは言ってないんですよね。じゃあ森。
How are you?
It's better. Thank you.
Then may I ask you some questions? It will not take long.
Quickly, please. I have hungry
こいつ森ホタルって言うんですね。
to feed.
Très bien. Can you tell me your movements last night?
Oh, nothing special. When I went off duty, I joined John and Freya in a compartment. I read for a short while, then went to bed early.
Reading? I'm not sure you have recovered enough to tell me the truth. Don't waste what little energy you have recovered to lie, Monsieur Murray.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Poirot. You're right. It obviously
こいつはもう
wasn't
堂々と嘘つきますね。
made my head hurt like that. But if you told Monsieur Book, it could mean my job.
I will keep your secret. But I am investigating a murder.
仕事終わって、なんか
Must tell me.
すごい真面目な話すると、仕事終わって勤務外でお酒飲んで二日酔いになっても、そんなにすぐクビになるとかってない気がしますけどね。繰り返したらあれですけど。
Please write your address on this paper.
My address?
I think I hear Monsieur Book approaching.
My address? Yes, of course.
これ右利きっすね。
Another right-handed person. Not surprising, most people are. You are a heavy smoker.
My job. It is very stressful.
Would you happen to know who vapes on the train? A banana flavor?
Oh, yes. The smell disgusts me. What is wrong with the good tobacco?
I do not have time to answer that. Who is it?
I've only seen one person who vapes.
軍人か。
Albert Nord, I see.
はいはいはい。
Your testimony was invaluable to me. Thank you. Take care, Monsieur Moore.
まあ確かに
My palate depends
今思うと
on
ホテルの時点で若干怪しいですからね。あ、聞きましょうか。
Here is your key. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
About the little favor I asked of you.
Aha, but
いや、すごい仕事できるや
I
つだ
was
な。
able to get new allergy forms from guests who were in their compartments. Monsieur McQueen, Monsieur Masterman, Count and Countess Andreni, they are all right-handed. I also asked Princess Dragomirov, but she had her assistant, Madame Schmidt, sign for her. She is right-handed as well.
You have exceeded my expectations. Well done. Thank you, Monsieur Fauché. I'll come back to you if I have more questions.
ほとんど右利き。で、まあ、オールソンとか、まあ、部屋にこもってる連中をちょっと見ますか。これもうなんか、この探索っていうよりもなんか、そういうなんか、めちゃくちゃダメ出しみたいな感じなんですけど、普通になんかこう選択式にしてほしかったですね。部屋の番号選んで、そのまま話聞きに行くみたいな。元も子供ないこと言っちゃうんですけど。
Captain Arbuthnot,
Ah,
I
well.
know that you are the only person on this train to smoke e-cigarettes. We found a vial of e-liquid at the
直球すぎる。
crime scene. Will you talk to me about this, or should I pass on what I've learned to the police?
All right. Come in, you must.
これ大丈夫？一人で行って大丈夫か？
I have just a few questions for you.
Very well. Let's hear them.
The young English lady, Mademoiselle Debenham, was at the Tocatlian Hotel. Perhaps you met her there?
We exchanged a few words, fellow Brits abroad, that sort of thing.
What can you tell me about
Right.
Mademoiselle Debenham?
Nothing whatsoever. We barely spoke.
The director of the Orient Express, Monsieur Bourg, thinks the assassin is a woman.
And that is enough to accuse her. She had
え
nothing to
ブー
do
クそんなこと言ってた？なんか、
How can you be so certain?
話が、
The idea is absurd.
釜をかけてるんですかね。
Was a perfect stranger to her. She'd never seen him before.
釜かけたっぽいですね。
Did she tell you so?
Well, yes, maybe she did. She may have commented once upon his somewhat unpleasant appearance. If a woman is concerned, as you seem to think, to my mind, without any evidence, I can assure you that Miss Debenham could not possibly be implicated.
It's clear that the captain
かばってますね。
is Debenham, a woman he supposedly doesn't know very well.
一回戻って、
You're welcome.
礼儀正しい、さすがタイ。ちょっと人間、デブナムって、40代に見えない人っすよね。ああ、こいつか、やっぱり。こいつと、ちょっと整理しましょうか。こいつと、タイは、多分できてますね、これは。でこれ40に40じゃないだろ、これ。まあまあまあまあ。
I have just eaten.
Very well.
じゃあ、詰めましょうか。
What were you doing last night around a 1:15?
1:15. I believe I was still talking to that young American
ア
fellow,
メリカ人
Mr. McQueen, the secretary of the man in his compartment.
He was a
Oh,
friend or
話してたね。
acquaintance of yours?
No, I never saw him before this journey. We hit it off at dinner, and the conversation continued into the early hours.
Until what time was that?
Until 1:45 or so. Then I retired.
何か気になったこと。
There is nothing you can recall last night that in any way struck you as suspicious.
It's nothing. A mere detail.
Allow me to be the judge.
Well, before returning to my room,
これタバコ盗まれてるんじゃないですかね、こいつ
get。a glass of water. When I was passing through the first class corridor, I noticed that the door, which is just after your room, 201, was not quite closed, and the person who was inside peered out in a furtive sort of way. Then he closed the door quickly. I know there's nothing in that, but it was the furtive way it was.
いや、怪しいでしょ、それは。
Struck me as a bit odd.
I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Could you write down your address here, please?
My address.
まあ多分タイは右利きでしょうね。やっぱり。
This man is right-handed.
なんかタイはこ
Is this
う、容
e-cigarette
赦
liquid
されてる感がありますよね。
What flavor is it?
banana?
Well, that is awkward. That's my flavor of choice. But I have no idea what it was doing there. Whatever.
Can you explain how it ended up there?
I have no idea. I never entered the man's room. That's the truth.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
こう礼儀正しいところにちょっと毎回笑っちゃいますね。こんだけ詰めてんのに、俺はちゃんと言う、俺とかその、なんか大丈夫だみたいな感じで言うんですね。やっぱり軍人なんでよくできてますね。じゃあちょっとマインドマップに出てきたんでやりますか。じゃあ先上がった2つのこと。まあ、これは合ってますよね。はい、そうですね。これ、時間と話したは合ってますよね。そう。これくっつけて。
Captain Arbuthnot is
そうなんですよ
the
ね。
only passenger to smoke an e-cigarette. Even if this liquid in Ratchet's room is a solid clue, he has an alibi. I cannot accuse him without any of the proof.
これデブナム怪しいっすよね、やっぱ。これエブワラってもよくわかんないけど。これデブナムでも右利きだっけ？デブナム右利きなんですよね。そう、こいつ右利きだけど、犯人2人いるっぽいんで。じゃあこれは次は、じゃあババアですね。
Pardon this
あ、オールソンですね。
Mademoiselle Olsen, but something you
コールソ
told
ンは
me
MCU ですね。
confuses me.
Oh, please, come in.
なんか最近なんかいろいろ見すぎてるせいで、キャラの名前がごっちゃになってきてわけわかんないですね。
How can you be sure, Mademoiselle?
As I told you, I am a very light sleeper. The slightest noise wakes me up. If Fraulein Debenham had gotten out of her bed, I would have heard her. I got up this morning around 8 a.m. She was sleeping soundly.
ここかな？
Are you certain you would have heard her?
Yes. Why are you asking?
そう午前5時
I spoke to Mademoiselle Debenham.
あ、なんか違うっぽい。
Me that she got up around 5 o'clock in the morning. She opened the door and looked down the corridor. It was then that she saw a woman in a red kimono. How do you
着物
explain?
I think I must have been sleeping very soundly not to have heard it. Oh, but
それ怪しいでしょ。
me a suspect.
I am not accusing anyone, Mademoiselle. Do not worry. I am just trying to
さあ、
determine
おかしいでしょ。
what
浅く眠るっつうの
happened
に気づかないって。
Thank you for your testimony.
もう一気にこいつ、怪しくなったけど。アリバイ。あ、そうですね。ミスター・マック・イーンとタイは、こいつらアリバイがある。で、デブラムが寝てたって言ったのは、オールソンですね。ミシェルが訪ねたのはハーバード。
That's the right answer.
まあまあまあ。これで、 これ一通り終わったから、ああ、じゃああれ、目が覚めたとかそういう感じかな。
How
どう
is
すか
Mademoiselle? I understood.
まだですね。じゃあ、この車掌に報告しに行きましょう。毎回あいつの名前が覚えられないんですけど、デーブって言うとデーブ大久保しか出てこないんですよね。
I have not.
あれまだ終わってない。ああ。ババア調査か。これババア調査っぽいですね。
I'll keep an eye on them instead.
あ、私の出た。これ全員右じゃない？
My little gray cells do not.
あ、てかもうブークに話してもあれか思ったんだけど。ああ、オッケーオッケー。
There is no trace of the murder weapon on the train as yet. The killer could have hidden it anywhere.
It must be somewhere.
Indeed, as you say, it must be somewhere.
凶器、外に捨ててるとかはないのか。
According to Dr. Constantine's report, the stab wounds were made by at least one right-handed and one left-handed person, and with different strength. For the moment, everyone I have checked is right-handed. It is impossible to draw any conclusions as yet. However, I still have a few people to interrogate, notably the Russian princess.
You still have many avenues to explore?
Indeed, the case is far from
なんか
over.
今、無意識にため息をついちゃいましたね。ふーみたいな。
I identified the person responsible for the bottle of liquid for the vape found at the crime scene.
So, this is our culprit?
これなんか予想なんですけど、ババア死ぬんじゃないか
He
な。
has an alibi, confirmed by Monsieur McQueen.
ババアが死んでわけまた混乱するみたいな。
Monsieur Poirot.
Michel, calm down.
But it's Mrs. Aubert. She says she found the murder weapon in her room. She's very upset.
Let's go, Poirot.
I demand to be allowed to leave this train!
Madame, we are in the mountains, trapped in a snowdrift.
Stating the obvious, there is a murderer among us. He had the audacity to hide his weapon in my room.
Please, Madame Hubert, take a deep breath and tell us what occurred. Where did you find the knife?
I wanted to get the
Oh,
knife
back
out
on
of my
it.
purse, and when I opened it, I saw it. A bloody knife. Am I next to be murdered?
I very much doubt the murderer would give you his weapon.
What do you mean?
Madame, he would have used it.
Oh, I haven't.
何が触りま
Did
したか
you touch the knife?
Of course not. What a question.
I will take that as a no.
これか。お、ほんと
Is this knife the real murder weapon, or is it a red herring?
マインドマップかな。いやもうコンスタンティン氏頼みだな。じゃあちょっと会いに行きましょうか。
Dr. Constantine, we may have found our murder weapon. We need to make certain.
There is a pretty quick way to be sure. I have estimated the
有能
depth
すぎる。
of the wounds. You can easily find the depth of each
Okay.
wound by comparing the width. There are 5 of them that I am not sure about. Test
5つも
them, and then we will compare our results.
I will do as you say, Doctor.
はい。傷口の大きさとナイフの幅を比較しなければ。どういうこと？ええ、だいたいこれぐらいってこと？ちょっとわかんないねんけど。 これやってみようか。
This song.
Eh?
But I'm never far from the truth. I must admit I'm not right this
これむずっ。なんか、深さ小説しかできないんだけど。上を押して、だって左のとことなんか、何これむずすぎるでしょ。すごい深く見えるけどな。合ってたの？
Think, Poirot.
ちょっとわからんこれ。合ってた。もうちょっと浅い。
No, not good.
むずすぎるでしょこれ。何これ。これクソだな。
I do not think that's the right answer.
これヒントもらう。これちょっと意味わかんないですね。これヒントねえとわかんねえじゃん。これヒントねえとわかんねえじゃん。これダメでしょ。これこれクソですね。今のはちょっと明確に言います。これクソです、今のは。
Is this knife really the murder weapon?
There can be no doubt. You found the same depths as the estimates I made during the preliminary autopsy. I can assure you that you hold in your hands the weapon that took Ratchet's life.
なるほど。あ、起きた。
Thank you. I feel way better now.
The rest gave you time to sleep off most of the effects of the drug.
I'm still a bit groggy.
That's understandable.
Are you able to continue your story now?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Where was I?
You were explaining how you returned to the Armstrong house to tell them their poor little
そう、知らせて終わったよね。
Yes, that's it. I felt helpless. My part in the case was officially over, but I knew I couldn't let it go.
あ、待って、また回想に入ってる。あー、チャプター4終わった。でも続けてやるか。これ続けてやりますかね。続けてやりましょう。
2 days later, I returned to the Armstrong house to tell them Daisy would be released soon for burial. I was angry with myself that I couldn't bring them better news. I wasn't prepared for more tragedy.
まだなんかあんの？あ、猫だ。
Hello, Miss Morrow. I'm here to see Colonel Armstrong.
Good morning, Detective. Colonel Armstrong is upstairs. He isn't well.
ほう。あ、いた。
Good morning, Colonel Armstrong. Is your wife here?
Here? No, Sonia is not here. Always one step behind. She died of a miscarriage last night. My wife, Daisy, and our baby. My whole family is gone.
I'm so sorry. I came straight here this morning. I received word that you can arrange for Daisy to be returned to you for burial. I didn't know.
Well, then, now you don't have to come back. I can arrange for Daisy, my wife, and our unborn child.
すごいかわいそうですね。
All at once. Very efficient. Being a military man, I can appreciate efficiency.
I know how hard this must be for you.
No, you don't know.
なんかさぞどころじゃない気がする。
I want you to do your bloody job and catch the creature that did this.
I know you won't believe me, but I swear to you, I will find who did this. If it takes me to the far corners of the earth, I will find them.
Then go. Please go now. Go find them.
まあ、こういうのもしゃあないですね。よしよし。
All units, hikers in the vicinity of the cabin where Daisy Armstrong was found spotted a pickup truck drive through the barricade tape and then head up the dirt road toward where the subject cabin is located. Any car nearby who can respond?
Unit 28, we can respond, but we're a ways away.
Dispatch, this is 11. I'm on it.
Copy that. 11, you good to go.
Copy that.
まあ他のやつも向かわせないと危ないだろう。
Okay, there's the pickup. Let's see who ignored
これ
our
四輪
error.
駆動のやつじゃない？
11 here. I'm at the cabin. Someone has broken in.
Are you requesting backup?
Not yet. I'm going to take a look around.
Copy that, 11.
いや、要請した方がいいんじゃないか。
An individual has entered a police secured area. I have to stop him first.
じゃあまあ、車とりあえず一周しますか。いや、名前なんじゃあもう行こう中に。
Footprints.
あ、あるね。無防備すぎじゃない？
Forensics evidence identification marker.
こいつ本当に刑事か？
Forensics had to go through this place with a fine-tooth comb. A forensics evidence identification marker.
お、
3892. Oh, when the poor deer was killed.
あ、そういうこと？なんかあるから犯人が持ってきたんじゃねえの？ちょっともうちょい調べますか。いや、全部調べた気がするんですけどね。
A forensic.
テープ調べた。全然わからん。ちょっとヒントみたいになってきた。敷地の裏？でも普通に、プライド寄せで普通に見ましたね。足跡ほんと足跡あった。わかりづら。こっち？いや、見えないな。わかんねえや。暗。ある。足跡ある。小屋に入ったって言ってなかった。小屋。なんか聞こえる？あ、ここ？あ、いるわ。なんだこいつ。
Don't shoot, officer. I'm on your side.
Sir, keep your hands where I can see them.
Sure, no problem.
Sir, this is a crime scene. Who the hell are you?
I'm a reporter. Boston 6 News. You can get us on cable even here in the mountains.
They haven't heard of crime scene tape in a big city like Boston?
All right, that wasn't my best move. I got all excited. I didn't expect to find the place deserted. It was hard to resist.
You should have tried harder. I'm placing you under arrest.
You should be thanking me. Look what you apparently missed and I found.
We'll get to that, but you're going to answer some questions first.
I'm more used to asking questions, but fire away.
まあ何者っていうか、なんか個人的に、
I'm Michael Clark, journalist for Boston 6 News. Off camera, but someday I'm going to be anchor. You just wait.
Do you have a way to prove that?
My press card's in my truck.
小屋に足跡が入ってくるように見せかけて小屋の外に出てったっていう、やたらと難しかったですね。明らかに小屋の中に何かがあると思ったんですけど、まあいいや。クソ騙された。
I'm investigating the Daisy Armstrong kidnapping like you.
Does the pickup parked in front of the cabin belong to you?
Yes, indeed, it's mine.
I'll check. Show me your hands. I'm going to cuff you.
I'm sure we can work out a deal.
Put your hands in front of you.
普通に捕まった。
Aren't you going to read me my rights?
You have the right to remain silent. I really wish you'd exercise that one. Dispatch, this is 11. I intercepted a suspicious individual at the crime scene. I'll check to determine how badly he's compromised it. Then I'm bringing him in.
Copy that, Detective Locke.
じゃあ、あの扉何なんだよ、あの扉。これいい。
I don't need to talk to the suspect right now.
ちょっと話聞いてからシェルター行こうか。ちょっと逆に戻ることになったらめんどくさいしね。
I don't need to talk to the suspect right now.
今話す必要ないの？じゃあシェルター見に行くか。あの鹿の番号っぽいな。
Damn, that isn't it.
9382だっけ？ 928 92年だっけ？ 8月9283だっけ？ちょっと待ってください。これは多分鹿のやつなんでメモに残ってねえかな。ちょっと見に行くか。よし。
I could do it. I can always use safecrafting as a career move.
じゃあ開けるか。
There. Now let's see what secrets you're hiding. What the hell is that gas can in here?
なんだここ。てか結構広いな。またそういう感じのやつ。ちょっと待って。なんだこれ。なんか拷問道具みたいな感じに見えるんですけど。
This blueprint. It looks like the bomb.
爆弾設計図。
The kidnapper built the bomb here.
これオリエント急行にも爆弾作るやつがいるとかそういうオチ？複雑。ここにもあるわ。
This bunker looks like it's as old as the cabin.
これなん
Everything's
か
fallen.
至るところにスイッチあるけどなんか奥にあんの？
Now what? I have to turn the power back on to open this magnetic door.
なるほど。
No, it doesn't work.
はい。こう電源を通じるようにするってことね。いや、むずいな。この箱は？
The cap's been damaged, and some gasoline has leaked out.
まあ。これ番号によって変えなきゃいけないのか？これ見なきゃいけないね、これ。すげえ複雑だな。なんでこんな無事いんだよ。いや、むずっ、これ。ちょっと待って。むずすぎ。複雑すぎて、これちゃんと見る気起きないわ。左でいきますか。これもう当てずっぽでやるしかないね。ちょっとあまりのパターンが多すぎて。てかもうこのなんつうのかな。この線を、こんなのもう、あれですね、ちゃんと見てる暇がない。複雑すぎてわからん。むずっ。激むずっ。いや、これむずすぎでしょう。これすいません。これもう、これヒント見ます。これちょっときついっす。これはきついわ。ヒント見ます。全部左ってことか。
Let there be light.
よし。
Perfect, it works.
なんだこれ、金庫だ。なんか丸ついてる。
February 24th, the day of the kidnapping. They knew about the party and everything.
これまたフィーリングで開けるやつ。なんかこれ、フィーリングで開けるタイプ多くない？あ、今なりましたね。
Yes, I knew I could do it. I can all.
いや、難かった。お金だ。
An expensive looking pen with the initials JM? What's its story?
JM。
It's Daisy's hair clip, the same as the picture I saw at the Armstrong house.
このお金はラチェットが持ってましたね、そういえば。
That looks like a hair caught in the band around the money. Forensics will tell me for sure, but that doesn't look like Daisy's color. Daisy is locked up again until forensics get here. I'll secure the bunker for forensics. Progress at last.
あ、これ入れるんかい。入れるんかい。
Clark's press card, and the phone number of the newspaper is on it. Ah, good. I can give him a call.
拾う。カメラだ。お、めっちゃ撮影してんじゃん。お、もろだ。
Candid photos of the entire Armstrong family. A reporter just doing his job. Or something else?
ここは
The glove compartment is closed.
他は
Telephoto lens. Not so surprising for a journalist.
他はお。なんか何もないってこと？あ、なんか入ってる。
Car keys in the sun visor. A classic hiding place. At least on TV.
開けるか。これは
The vehicle registration is not in the name of Michael Clark or a rental company.
クラークでも、ほう。ベイカー。これは
Clark's driver's license seems to be in order.
クラーク、はいはい。シカゴミュージアム。こんなもんか。調べる。348なんだ。あ、7か、これ。
That's it.
書き方が特徴的すぎる。
Hi, I'm Detective Joanna Locke, Berkshire Police. I'd like to speak to an editor, please.
One moment, please. Hello, Detective Locke? This is Abby Wilson. I'm a senior editor. What can I do for you?
Does a man named Michael Clark work for you?
Yes, he does. Why?
When was the last time you heard from him?
Oh, it's been at least 7 or 8 months. That's not unusual.
He works in the field?
Yes, Michael Clark is what we call a stringer. He works as a freelancer. Comes up with a story we can use, we pay him, and we don't hear from him again for several months.
What kind of stories does Mr. Clark write?
Mr. Clark is an investigative reporter, mostly crime stories to tell you the truth. He comes up with some pretty macabre stuff some of the time. Is there a problem? Or a story?
Do you remember what the last case he investigated was?
It was a murder case. The victim was a
James Miller.
millionaire named James Miller. He was called the Frozen Fish King of Gloucester, Massachusetts. His body turned up in one of his nets. Or rather, most of it did.
Ah, well. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. You've been a great help to me.
Pleasure. I hope he's not in trouble. He can be a little pushy, but he's a good guy overall. So what's he working on now, Detective? Are you sitting on a story?
Thanks again.
まあやっぱいろいろ聞いてきますね。じゃあこれ元に話しましょうか。
I don't need to talk to the
あれ
suspect right now.
まだあんの？あ、ガソリン。ここ後ろか。
The gas can I found in the bunker would match this outline perfectly. Okay, time for forensics to attack that bunker. And Clark? He's too sure of himself. I need to get him into an interrogation room and find out what really makes him tick.
おし、やっと進んだ。
I know my rights. You can't keep somebody locked up in a car like this, you know. You wouldn't do it if I was a dog. Do they have bathrooms at the station?
もうオール無視して拉致。
I have the right to make a phone call, Detective, whatever your name is.
That phone is an outside line.
Hello, boss. It's Michael Clark. I'm still on the Armstrong kidnap, but there's a small problem. I got caught being someplace I shouldn't be. I'm at the police station. No, I'm not under arrest. Just questioning. Fire me. Why? The station's integrity? You're kidding me, right? If you think I've screwed up that badly, then fire me. Got that? Fire me. Yes. Do it.
That didn't go well.
I think I got my point across. What happens now?
Go ahead. Then we'll have a chat. An extra computer so I don't have to go all the way out to my desk. Case files. A lot of them for our tiny town. The only comfortable I'll add these to the file. Anything that will erase Clark's smile.
まあなんかまあ隠してるっぽいですからね。
This is all a game to him, and he doesn't expect to lose.
よし、じゃあ行きますか。
Now that we've taken it in, we can begin. Interview of suspect Michael Clark, 6 p.m., March 30th, 2019. This interview is being recorded.
By elves behind the mirror, no doubt?
You were arrested at a crime scene where you damaged police barricade tape.
I'll pay for a new roll.
That's a Class A misdemeanor, and it carries a $500 fine.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
To begin with, where were you on the night Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped?
I was watching TV in my motel room, but I had my police scanner on. I heard the first reports that the little girl was missing. No way the police at the scene were gonna let me get close. I set my alarm so I could get on the story first thing in the morning. I tried to sleep. It was difficult.
Can anybody confirm where you were?
No. Afraid not.
ちょっとなんか無言で聞いてますけど。
A sad combination. And I realized a bad alibi.
お。ん？ああ、証拠を提示する感じですね。どうしましょう。
If the police were interested in it, I was interested in
it. まあ小屋の場所かな。
How did you find the cabin?
Police radio. I heard the forensic team getting directions. Then, when they finally left the scene late this morning, I jumped in my pickup and hurried on up the mountain.
You tore the tape at the entrance to the property and stomped all over the house. This constitutes a serious violation of a crime scene, Mr. Clark.
I'm aware of that. I'm sorry. I'll pay the fine. But I got carried away.
It isn't often I get a crime scene all to myself.
He's enjoying himself. I need to throw him off balance somehow.
なるほど。
Surprise him into making an error. Explain to me again how you got to the crime scene.
I listened in on the police radio frequency. Anybody can do it with a scanner. I headed for the crime scene in my trusty pickup, like I've done for years. After the forensic team left, I needed to see the crime scene for myself. I got to the bunker just before you arrived.
嘘ついてるね。まあ、なんだこのオイルじゃない。そう、オイルのタンクが入ったから、まあ、直前じゃないですよね。あれ違う。いや、相棒のマイトラック。
You said you've been driving that pickup for years?
You heard right. Thanks to it, I never miss a story.
あ、証明書か。あ、
You
確か
say
に。
you've been using your pickup for years, but the title certificate is not in your name.
確かに。
The truck belongs to somebody named Stephen Baker.
Okay. I don't get why the pickup is so important to you. I guess my ego made me say that. Yeah, the pickup was lent to me by a friend. I couldn't afford it even with a loan.
I think you stole it, Mr. Clark. You needed a pickup like that for our mountain roads, so you stole that one.
Try proving it. But while you run off on some wild goose chase, you can't hold me.
でもガス、これ効くか、タンク。
Let's move on to the gas cans. And
そう、
what
ガ
was
ス管、
found
ガ
in
ス
the
管効きましょう。
pockets when you were brought in here today.
That sounds exciting.
How did you know there was a bunker at the end of the property?
How did your forensic team miss it?
They were concentrated on the cabin. It was pitch black out there.
Small town cops with small town minds. I'm sorry, that was unkind. You know, I'm a bit like you. My job is to find something a news program's viewers want to see. You do it for justice. I do it for money. I just have more flair than you.
I know you're lying, Mr. Clark. I followed your footprints from the cabin, and they led directly to the bunker. It was very well hidden. You had to know it was there.
Think whatever you want, detective.
まあ全部突きつけるんですね。
You say you're a journalist, a stringer for Channel 6 News in Boston.
I sell my stuff to lots of media outlets.
カメラかな。
Your camera was in your pickup. You didn't want to take pictures of the crime scene?
I like to get the lay of the land. Once I see the story I want to tell, then I start documenting it.
I don't know any journalist who works a case without their camera close at hand. He thinks he's invincible. I need to play his ego. That's the key. What are you doing in the Berkshires, and what is your connection to the Armstrong case?
For the past few months, I've been working on a big case. Boston 6 News was looking forward to my next story. The Armstrongs have been on my list of potential targets for a long time. I changed gears when Daisy was kidnapped and started investigating the Armstrongs.
ここか。
So you just stumbled on a major kidnapping story during your stay in the Berkshires?
Yeah, I was researching PCBs in the river for crying out loud. Then, wow, the Armstrongs. That's not a Science Sunday report. That's a lead. Sometimes you just get lucky.
嘘、カメラ。
Your camera in the pickup. There were photos of Daisy from before she was kidnapped.
The Armstrongs are a famous family, like the Kennedys or Hollywood couples. Gossip sites love them. People want to see how they live. I started out just stealing candid shots. Paparazzi live on getting that one exclusive shot. Steamy, intimate.
でもあれなんですよね。
Then when the kidnapping happened, I realized I was
ベビーシッターも映
what an
って
opportunity.
たんですよ
And I
ね。
jumped at it.
You have an answer for everything.
You're not very good at this, are you? How long have you been on the job?
Long enough to put you away for life. If you killed that little girl. I know that Clark is lying. I need to reconstruct the whole sequence of events in order to understand what happened.
マインドマップ。いきますか。これ真ん中がなんだ？真ん中は公約到着。クラーク転勤ステップ破った。 私がやってきたが、最後。クラーク、トラック。で、シェルター閉めた。あ、これ逆ですね。で、来たから、持ち出した、シェルターを開けた、到着した、投げ入れた、閉めた、で、こうかな。OK。
Score. One for the good guys. I'll tell you what really happened. You waited until forensics left and arrived in your probably stolen pickup. You grabbed a can of gasoline from your truck. You then went into the cabin to check if Daisy had been found. You then went straight to the bunker to see if it had been discovered, planning to set it on fire and destroy all the evidence inside. Before you could start the fire, you heard me arrive. So you hastily left your gas can and closed the hatch. You didn't think I could open the bunker. If I hadn't found you, I expect you would have burned down the cabin too.
I'm not gonna make fun of you, Detective, or how you handled my interrogation. You're obviously very new at this. I swear I'm telling the truth. I didn't know the bunker was there until the moment you showed up. I seem to have trumped your entire police force.
When I get the DNA results from the bunker, we'll continue this conversation.
You have no concrete evidence against me whatsoever.
The lab results will be in soon. You won't get away with this. See that call? That's your arrest warrant and a one-way ticket to prison. I'll be right back.
なんかいまいち
I think I found the man who
関
kidnapped
係
Nancy Armstrong.
まあでも
I'm interrogating him now.
Hold on, Detective Locke. I have some bad news. Someone set fire to the cabin in the bunker. The fire department is on the scene, but they say it's too late.
That's impossible. My suspect has been in the interrogation room with me all evening.
We can't hold him. Suzanne Moreau. Her fingerprints are on the wine bottle found in the cabin. We also found an unknown person's fingerprints, but they don't match your suspects.
Sir, with all due respect, I'm convinced Michael Clark is involved.
Detective, I'm cutting you some slack already, but we cannot hold your suspect simply because you're convinced he's guilty. We have evidence that Suzanne was working with an accomplice, Noah Gary. I order you to release the reporter and arrest this Moreau.
Let me just check my last lead. The DNA analysis of the hair found in the bunker safe. The results just came in.
I know how hard this is. Okay. Get the DNA results. Detective Locke, I will give you 1 hour maximum. Then you close the file and arrest Suzanne Moreau.
Thank you, sir. Who did you call earlier?
An editor from the Boston 6 News.
An editor you repeatedly said should fire you. That was your accomplice, wasn't it? You were telling him to start the fire.
An accomplice?
It was Noah you called.
I'm saying nothing more without the presence of my lawyer.
Stay right where you are. I'm not done with you yet.
Wow. Do I hear grounds for a lawsuit?
Some poor innocent woman is being accused instead of you. You set her up, didn't you?
You have to let me go, Detective.
All I need is one more phone call to the lab. I know it's you, and I'm going to prove it. Hello, this is Joanna Locke. I need the results of the DNA test I asked you for.
Hi, Detective. Sorry, we only have the DNA sequence. We haven't had time to compare it with the suspects yet. It'll take several more hours. I'm sorry, but you are not the only one on the waiting list.
Send your analysis to my computer in the office. I'll do the comparison myself.
I need authorization.
I have a murderer who is going to walk free unless I get those results now.
Fine, we'll send it to you right away, but I have to log this.
It's my last chance. There's a computer in the office next to the interrogation room. I can check the results of the DNA test there.
これか。何これ。モロを、小屋で見つかったのにマイケル・クラーク、ジョン・アームストロング。どういうこと？ああ、ここ当てはめるってこと？ATC 完全一致してる。何これ？ちょっと待って。
No! Suzanne? I don't understand. I was sure it would be Clark's hair. I'll have to...
あ、今までよかったんだ。まあなんか仕込まれてるっぽいっすよね。
You can leave.
Sorry it didn't work out for you, Detective. Maybe you should consider a career change.
We are not done.
Oh, but we are, my dear. We are done.
I had no choice but to return to the Armstrong house to arrest Suzanne Moreau.
This is 午後9時なのにめっちゃ明るい。
The arrest warrant for Suzanne Moreau. Suzanne was set up by Clark and Noah. They are the kidnappers, but I'm not giving up. When Suzanne comes up for trial, I will fight for her defense. But for now, the district attorney is in charge. If I want to stay a detective, he always has the last word.
これ今のところ、まあ、これとオリエント急行の話が噛み合うと思うんですけど、
The door is wide open.
結構長いですね、このパート。
How strange.
お、なんか、
Hey, is anyone there?
この家かわいそうだな。だんだん、なんか荒らされてない？
Miss Moreau? This is Detective Locke.
モロの部屋行こう。あ、いた。
Miss Moreau, can you hear me? It's me, Detective Locke. You must get up now. Miss Moreau? Miss Moreau, can you hear me? Suzanne Moreau is dead. There are no traces of injuries on her body. She doesn't seem to have defended herself from anyone.
ああ、なんか飲んでるね。ああ、睡眠薬めっちゃ飲んだのか。
Suzanne killed herself by ingesting all these drugs.
死んじまった。なんかここら辺調べられるな。
Suzanne's diary is missing. Suzanne's diary is missing.
あ、メガネがなくなってる。え、これ、どうだから、レ・ミゼラブルか。ちょっと一個一個調べていきましょうか。なんかあるかもしれないですね。まあ、変わりはないですね。これメガネがなくなってるの気になりますね。これで、あ、ドクター・ダムス。なんかすごい、あ、全員死んじゃった。これなんかちょっと悲しい話ですね。
Suzanne was telling the truth about her mother.
私がデイジーを殺した。何これ、ツイッターみたいな感じ。
How she'd been used. The death of her mother would have been an additional shock, and the self-righteous court of social media was as quick as usual to try and convict her. She must have the death and the self.
耐えられなかったって感じですね。モロは死ぬべしと。
District attorney to inform him. This is Detective Locke, sir. I'm at the Armstrong house.
Have you arrested Suzanne Moreau?
She's dead, sir. Apparent suicide, but I need a forensics team.
She killed herself out of remorse for her part of the crime.
We don't know that yet. I'm calling forensics now, but I wanted you to know.
What a mess. Stay on site.
アームストロングはどこ行った？
Yes, sir. Standing by.
ちょっとアームストロングどこにいるか気になるね。
The investigation was officially closed. I was certain that she was innocent, and Clark had been responsible for 4 deaths and then vanished into thin air. With $1 million. Dollars marked, though, and not easily spent. I didn't care if the case was officially closed.
なるほど、それで追ってきたんですね。
Mr. Poirot, whatever it took.
お、繋がってきましたね。まあちょっとこの辺ででも終わりにするか。さすがにね、これちょっと。相当長いことやってる気がする。
I waited for the forensics team, then went into the station to write my report. I was officially off the case.
Thank you, mademoiselle. That obviously cannot be the completion of your story. If I might ask a question.
Of course.
ラチェットは溝のがあった。まあどっち、まあラチェットがクラークかな。
Michael Clark. He was Ratchet?
Absolutely. I was the only law enforcement official to question Clark. I knew this wasn't his first kidnapping.
You looked for similar cases. What do you Americans call the MMOs?
Means, motive, and opportunity. Yes, I looked for someone in plain sight. Someone on the edge of a kidnapping case. Someone in plain view, keeping track of the investigations. An innocent witness, a concerned neighbor, even another reporter.
And eventually you found a name behind an alias.
Yes, I found a name. Cassetti, the real name. The real name of the man you call Ratchet is Cassetti.
This explains much, mademoiselle, but not all.
It explains why she is our #1 suspect.
But not how she came to be on this train. Attends, she has grown pale.
I don't know. What's wrong with me? Excuse me, Mr. Poirot. I don't feel very well.
You are exhausted and still feeling the effects of the drug. Stay with us, mademoiselle. One more effort. I need to know your recent movements.
I snuck aboard the train.
This I observed. You came directly to this room?
Yes. Yes, and other than a couple of
誰かに巡らされた。
the ladies yesterday, I never left this room. I didn't want to be spotted by Ratchet. Yesterday, I chatted with my roommate, Miss Schmidt, I think, here in our room. She brought me some dinner. I got very sleepy and...
And now she nods off again. Is this a joke? She must be faking, so we can't interrogate her further.
No, Book. She really seems to have fallen asleep again. It is my fault. She must have been given a dangerous dose of sleeping pills last night. The effects should wear off soon, I hope, but I am afraid asking her to tell us her story was too much for her.
Pinch her, Poirot. She's faking.
She is not faking, and there will be no pinching. Dr. Constantine, please stay with her. Monsieur Book, ask the other passengers to gather in the dining car. There are still many questions I need to ask.
But all of them together? Won't someone overhear you questioning the others?
I will speak softly because I am trained to do so. They will speak softly because they want to.
Very well. I will do as you say.
よし、じゃあこれで一旦終わりにしますか。ちょっと結構長くなっちゃったかもしれないんですけど、なんかいろんな事件が噛み合ってる臭いっすね。まあでも結局ラチェット、ラチェット、マイケル・クラーク、あいつしか、ノアが多分どっかに織り込んでるっていう感じっぽいんで、あとはノアっすね。で、実際にそのノアと、あとはあれですね、刺した2人いるっぽいんで、それを捕まえるみたいなのが結末ですかね。はい、じゃあちょっと気になるところですが、この辺で終わりにしたいと思います。ちょっとセーブ後でいいや。はい、というわけで、ではまた。